Hi everybody, Jo here again. How are you doing? Hope you're doing okay. It's coffee time again, so cheers. Now today in our little get together, I've had a message from one of our lovely followers, Sarah, who wants to make an anniversary card, but she hasn't got a lot of time. And you know what, at the minute, I know that feeling, and my garden is calling me. I love this time of year and I love getting in my garden. So what I've done is I've got out these lovely cardi handmade from Lavinia, and the beautiful heart-shaped, and you get 5 of these beautiful heart-shaped pieces of, well, handmade paper, and you get the envelopes as well. And I'm thinking this would make a lovely little anniversary, and I'm thinking we could decorate one side and then just write a lovely message on the other. Now these, I was thinking you could even string a few together and make some bunting. Well, you know what it's like. You suddenly start thinking, I mean, if you wanted, you could even, I've got a 6x6 card and I've checked it fits in the envelope. And you could, if you wanted to actually make it into a card, pop it on a card blank. So again, already we're starting to think of so many ideas, so many ways you could use it. They'd make wonderful wedding cards. But I'm thinking just a card for somebody you love as well. But we're going to go along this line for Sarah of an anniversary card. I've got an idea in mind. So first of all, and I've chosen 2 colours, and I'm not going down the usual pink route, but again, you can choose any colour. I'm just going for lime punch and blue atoll. Just, I'm thinking, that's the colours I'm thinking. And I'm just going to edge my, now again, we can either do it like this, or we can do it on the mat. But I'm thinking with these being handmade papers, this is going to be a nice way. Now, if you did this as a wedding card, you know, you could find out what colour the bridesmaids were in and do it to match. How lovely would that be? Or if you're the bride, this could be your thank you little for your bridesmaids. I mean, like I say, you know, so many things we can do. Right, sip of the coffee again. Oh, I've needed a coffee all day. Been one of those days. Right, let's get our inks out. And let's bring in, I've got this lovely stencil, this heart-shaped stencil called Replenish. So let's pop this across. Now again, I want this heart up here. I'm thinking that would be nice. If I shape it like that. Right. I've got a couple of little brushes here. I'm going to come in with the blue. And just slightly, remember, tickle your stencil. I want a little bit of blue up there. And then a little bit of blue down here. I don't want a lot. I don't want to overcook it. I want it to be quite classy, you know, a bit less is more. But it's always worth having a look. Now remember, these are handmade papers, so they're textured. So you probably will need a bit more ink than you think. Yeah, I like the look of that. And then let's add a little bit of green. Just going to put the 2 colours together. And come in with a little bit more blue where they overlap. Don't want it to muddy, but I just want it to blend. Yeah. Again, just to get the hint, I've got an idea in mind. So we'll pop these over here. And what I'm thinking is I've got an offcut of card here. And I've got my lovely heart stamp, my small one. And I'm going to stamp a couple of hearts. Now, I must admit, when I tend to cut, don't know about you, but I cut my toppers often from an A4 piece of multifarious card. And when I do that, because I tend to cut, as you know, I tend to use a 5.5-inch square piece of card, just because it's one I go for, I'm left with a panel. And this is one of those panels. I save it, but I make sure I use it. Because I don't know about you, I think we're collectors and we collect every bit of card going. But that's only any good if you use it. And it's not if you just find that you have boxes and boxes of cards. So this year, I'm trying to be mindful of using all that stash and all that stuff that, so I tend to, if I'm stamping my heart, I tend to stamp right across my piece of card. Just because, you know, you might as well. But what I do need to do is just give that a bit of a blot, because I'm going to add some colour. But obviously, VersaFine Clay, slower drying ink. And even though I've blotted it, we'll just dry it. Now, to add colour, I'm just going to come in with my straight, and this is why I needed to blot it. I'm just going to use my lovely little stencil brush. Now, you could use your pencils to do this, your watercolour pencils. You could watercolour with your paints. You can use any method you want. I just find these little brushes so useful to add colour. And we'll just add a hint of green in the middle, just to bring those two colours together. And then come back in with the blue, just round the edge. Right, that's it. And it is a really lovely, quick way. Like I say, I hate to keep using the word quick because, you know, we do enjoy the process and that's important. But with the best will in the world, there will always be times when you do want a card quicker than others. I mean, I have to say, if this is an anniversary card, I hope you haven't forgotten your anniversary. But, you know, the pace of life is so fast these days. We can all be forgiven. And I've got to be honest, as I get older, oh, memory certainly isn't what it was. Now, this heart, fabulous shape to cut out. Look, how quick was that? While we're talking. Right, definitely need another sip of coffee. So I've already got one that I've coloured, so I've got the two together, and I love those two colours. So if we bring our lovely heart-shaped topper in, what I'm going to do is, we've got these lovely, and I don't know how you pronounce this, so I do apologise, Lochta papers. Well, that's what I'm going to say. Anyway, you see it there, those papers from Lavinia, and these are beautiful, again, handmade, sustainable. And what's lovely is you can just tear them. Now, it's up to you. You can wet the edges if you want, but I've got to be honest, I find they tear beautifully just between my two thumbs, look. But if you want to get a paintbrush, remember, just put your paintbrush, wet the edge and then tear, and then wait for it to dry. But I've got to be honest, I like to just use my thumbs. And what I'm thinking is a beautiful piece of this here, just to give me another dimension with my two hearts. See, I don't want to overdo it. I want to go and I think that's going to be enough for me. So let's add a little bit of glue. Now, if you're worried about your glue showing through, sorry, excuse me, time for another sip. Always make sure you put your glue where your embellishment's going to be. So we'll pop another bit on here, and I'm going to have one just there. Now you can raise this one up if you want, maybe use some 3D glue or some foam pads, but I think I'm just going to keep mine like that. And then what I'm thinking is I'm going to add on my lovely sticker stencils here, I've got Love You. See, I've also got Love Story, but I think this for a lovely anniversary card, Love You. And again, remember the trick, pop it on your scissors and see, do we put it in the middle, at the top, at the bottom? We could put, I know, what I actually fancy doing is, I think I'm going to put the U over here and the love just over there. So I've got the Love You like that. Now, if you want to add some glitter, stickles would look nice, but I'm not feeling glitter because do you know what? I'm actually going to send this one to Carl. And just to say thank you for being my husband, because I adore him so much, and I think this is just a lovely card just to say I love him. But what I do want, because he's got to have it, is some Posca. So again, give it a good shake, and let's add some white Posca splats, and especially over the heart, I think that'll really show up. So I'm going to tap it to add a few, and then I'll come in and we'll just add a couple of nice bigger ones. But remember that nice little whipping action. Yeah, that's enough. And then just to finish off, I think I've got some liquid pearls, and I think this prickly pear could just be nice colour. So let's just check it out. You see, it does spit. I knew it would be rude. So maybe if I just put one on there, another one on there, and just maybe one. Oh, got a little blob there, soon get rid of that. 1, 2, 3. Just an odd number, 5 there. And then a couple up here, look. And obviously I need to wait for these to dry before I write my message on the back. But I think, there we go. Now, how quick was that? Should it be needed? But what I need to do is mop that prickly pear up from there and the Posca from there. Otherwise, I'll be decorating the back of my lovely card. But I think that is so lovely. And as I say, we've got so many things you could use. I mean, I did get a little heart-shaped wooden piece out. I thought I might include that, but I don't need it. I think I've got enough on there. But if you've got a special little gem you want to add, it's one of those designs that you can add more, should you wish. And I have to say, I've got a matching envelope, which I've added a little bit of stencil work on, and I've added a heart as well. So I think I'm going to write on the back of this and just give that to my fabulous Carl. So Sarah, I hope that's helped. I hope it's given you some ideas. Just this lovely heart stamp is perfect. You've got the heart stencil, and we've got so many lovely words on our sentiment stickers and these, perfect. Like I say, you want to pop it on a card blank, pop it on a card blank. But for me, that's just enough to just say you love somebody. And how thoughtful is that? Lovely and handmade. So thank you for joining me. It's always lovely when you pop in, especially when we just get to spend our coffee together and that little bit of 10 minutes and we make a card. Who'd have thought it? So thanks for popping in, and I'll see you again next week. Although I might need a cheeky brew before then. What do you think? I think there's always time for a cheeky brew and a biscuit. So I need to go and raid my biscuit tin now and find myself a biscuit. You take care. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.